Hi, I'm Barry.
Hi, I'm Danny.
Hi, I'm Elena.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm Margarita.
Hello, I'm Tanya. Welcome to OceanStor Dog Talks of this year.
It's a great pleasure to have you here.
We will show you the latest information about Huawei OceanStor storage.
Comprehensive documentation of OceanStor family.
To show you how to find those useful resources face-to-face. And popular tools, 3D multimedia, trainings and applications are waiting for you.
Still waiting? OceanStor Dog Talks is coming now. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Anna.
Hi, I'm Barry.
Hi, I'm Danny.
Hi, I'm Elena.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm Margarita.
Hello, I'm Tanya. Welcome to OceanStor Dog Talks of this year.
It's a great pleasure to have you here.
We will show you the latest information about Huawei OceanStor storage.
Comprehensive documentation of OceanStor family.
To show you how to find those useful resources face-to-face. And popular tools, 3D multimedia, trainings and applications are waiting for you.
Still waiting? OceanStor Dog Talks is coming now. Let's go.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to OceanStor Dog Talks today. I'm Lauren.
Hello, I'm Rick.
Today we're going to take a look at the enterprise storage standard delivery process and skills needed by engineers. Following these steps will help ensure the quality and efficiency of the project delivery.
Before we start, make sure to scan the QR code shown on the screen to subscribe to our newsletter and stay up to date with our latest information. It is free to subscribe. So go ahead and forward it to your colleagues too.
Feel free to ask questions in the chat box during the live stream for the chance to receive a small gift. At the end, we will also test you with some questions, and the first person to give the correct answer will also win a prize.
Okay, now onto the presentation. First, let's review key actions in the enterprise storage delivery process. The entire project delivery process includes 5 stages: requirement evaluation, solution design, hardware installation, software commissioning, and acceptance test.
To begin with, collect and evaluate customer requirements by conducting a compatibility, capacity, and performance evaluation. To complete the compatibility evaluation, collect information about the operating systems, switches, HBAs, and multipathing software. Visit the Huawei Storage Interoperability Navigator website to find out more about compatibility and ensure that the storage system is compatible with the customer's service systems. Later, we will show you how to check whether the compatibility meets system requirements.
To complete the capacity evaluation, use the evaluation tool eDesigner to check the available storage capacity for users in a specific disk domain and the storage pool. Ensure the storage capacity meets the customer's needs. List. Evaluate the storage system's LPS, bandwidth, and latency by specifying the storage model, controller, networking mode, service model, and the disk configuration. Again, make that it meets the customer's performance needs. Later, we will show you how to use eDesigner to evaluate capacity and performance indicators.
Now let's take a look at designing a solution. Use LLDesigner to create a customized BOQ or template-based LLD on the GUI. This can be used for planning projects, helping you quickly design storage networking and resource plans and automatically generate design documents.
Before the third stage, hardware installation can be completed. You must perform a site survey based on the product specifications and environment requirements described in the storage product documentation. Ensure that the power supply, power consumption, and the equipment rule environment meet the device requirements.
Then, strictly follow the installation guide in the storage product documentation. Sort products based on their packing list numbers and install, network, and power on storage systems according to the instructions. For details, see the installation and initialization sections in the product documentation. The fourth stage, software commissioning, is divided into 3 parts. First, you'll need to implement the solution by configuring software as instructed in the feature guide, solution product documentation, and host connectivity guide included in the storage product documentation.
Then check the storage system's software version and upgrade it to the recommended one if it is an early version. The name of the recommended version or patch is followed by a recommendation icon. Lastly, to complete operations and maintenance software installation, install SmartKit and System Reporter e-service, which facilitates routine O&M, is also recommended.
Acceptance test, the final stage, includes the function or solution acceptance test and delivery quality check. Follow the instructions in the product acceptance test guide to perform this. If a BC and DR solution, such as the active-active solution, is involved, refer to its acceptance test guide to ensure that the disaster recovery configuration is valid. This prevents invalid disaster recovery from causing failures during service switchover.
For the delivery quality check, use the SmartKit deployment quality inspection tool to perform an inspection of the storage hardware status, the software status, value-added features, storage configuration, and alarms.
Ensure that all items pass the inspection so as to prevent maintenance phase problems arising from incorrect storage configuration or not using the recommended version. Upload the inspection result report to the e-service platform for archiving by choosing Inventory Management, Upload Archives.
In addition, rollout services are differentiated by importance, and an assurance team is established for key services, assuring service rollout. For example, new product and feature rollouts at name account sites and in core financial service systems such as the highly loaded online transaction services with low latency and high bandwidth services.
The front line submits a request for change, the second line offers regional professional services, and the third line R&D personnel establishes an assurance team to respond to on-site requirements and ensure service rollout.
The requirement evaluation includes compatibility, capacity, and performance. Let's start with compatibility evaluation. We can use the Huawei Storage Interoperability Navigator website to evaluate the capability.
Go to the website and select and add the components to be queried. Select a storage system, for example, OceanStor 18500 v5, a host operating system, such as VMware 6.7, a host bus adapter, such as QLogic, and multipathing software, such as UltraPa. Click Submit to see the compatibility result. Compatibility verification has been performed in the listed scenarios. If the live network is not involved, complete the compatibility information collection table and send it to the R&D team for evaluation. The table contains the storage model and version, host OS and kernel, HBA model, HBA driver version and firmware version, switch model and version, multipathing software, and cluster software.
For situations where the capability has not been determined, the R&D team will prompt the frontline to submit a request. The capability verification team will execute capability tests and verification for frontline delivery for 3 weeks. Pay attention to the following compatibility items. Number 1, newly released OS version and the system update version. If the capability cannot confirmed on the website, confirm it by email or request tracing. Number 2, kernel version. The OS kernel must be verified separately before the upgrade. especially when UltraPa is installed.
3. HBA model and firmware version, especially the new card and newly released firmware versions such as the self-developed HBA. 4. Other compatibility or customer requirements such as cloud platform plugins and system plugins.
The storage product capability evaluation tool, eDesigner, evaluates both the available capacity and the performance of a storage system in specific service scenarios, ensuring that the storage system can meet customers' requirements.
Next, we're going to show you how to use eDesigner to evaluate performance and capacity. First, log in to the eDesigner website. On the Intelligent Data and Storage tab page, click Product Capability Evaluation. Select the product model, software version, storage array type, and controller specifications, and specify the service model, including the application type, protocol, read ratio, and I/O block size.
Set the disk configuration, including the disk type, read type, and the disk quantity. Then you can obtain the available capacity provided by a storage system. Configure interface modules and enter the type and the pair number of interface module, the number of disk enclosures, and the pair number of backend interface modules.
Click Performance Indicators to view the service model performance, including bandwidth and IOPS provided by the storage array for customers. Click Next to complete the design and export the product list. The exported file shows the product configuration, service model, and performance indicators, as well as the visualized 2D configuration diagram.
Capacity evaluation focuses on the raw capacity, available capacity, and hot spare capacity requirements in the binding document. RAID 6 is recommended for customers, and RAID TP is recommended for dual service storage carrying core services. For storage pool reserved capacity, 15% is recommended when no value-added features are available.
Performance evaluation focuses on the following. 1. Read the chapter Performance Monitoring Guide in the product documentation and learn about performance indicators such as RAID levels, cache, ports, LUNs, and monitoring points. 2. Check whether it is batch processing services mainly with large read IOs or online transaction services mainly with small write IOs during performance evaluation.
To replace storage devices from other vendors, collect their information including read-write IOPS, bandwidth, and latency, as well as the performance data of the core server systems. 4. For eDesigner performance evaluation, determine a performance model in advance, such as the I/O size, read-write ratio, and hit ratio.
5. Pay attention to switch cascading link ports where bottlenecks may occur. 6. In smart tier scenarios, LUNs are allocated from the performance tier first if they are for core services that have high performance requirements. Next, let's look at enterprise storage networking and LLD configuration.
Each host must have accessible logical paths to each controller in the controller enclosure during network planning. Principles for planning front-end service ports are as follows. Number 1, component redundancy must be guaranteed in front-end service networking to eliminate a single point of failure. A common industrial networking mode is to configure dual switches for redundancy.
2. The number of paths must be properly planned according to the port rate and switch rate, and the number should be decreased accordingly without impacting performance. 3. Core service systems demand increasing performance and some require exclusive ports. Based on the previous 2 points, provide as many exclusive ports as possible.
The figure takes the dual-switch redundant network as an example. For OceanStor 18500 Wave5, it is recommended that one or more links be configured between each host and switch. 4 or more passes be configured between each switch and the controller enclosure, and the paths be evenly distributed on each controller.
In the typical front-end service port planning networking of OceanStor storage, each controller connects to 2 switches over 2 ports. Specific servers with 2 initiators have 8 or 16 paths when 1 or 2 controller enclosures are connected, respectively.
The figure shows the minimum front-end service network of OceanStor storage. Each controller connects to 2 switches over a port. Controller A and Controller B connected to switch 1, and Controller C and Controller D are connected to switch 2, respectively. For specific servers with 2 initiators, there are 4 paths when a single controller enclosure is connected. 8 fiber channel front-end interface module provide 8 group of exclusive ports for different servers.
On the front-end service networking of Dorado v6, each host has accessible logical paths to each controller for entry-level and mid-range storage, or each quadrant for high-end storage in the controller enclosure. For Dorado high-end storage, it is recommended that at least 1 port in each quadrant be connected to 2 switches. 8 paths are planned if the host has 2 initiators. The minimum front-end networking requirement is that at 1 port on each of the upper and lower planes is connected to 2 switches. 4 paths are planned if the host has 2 initiators, as shown in the figure.
There are a few basic principles to consider for the planning of the disk enclosure, cascading, and capacity. 1. It is recommended that one disk enclosure with SSDs form a loop. A maximum of 2 disk enclosures with SSDs can be cascaded in a loop. Number 2. Such disk enclosures and smart disk enclosures cannot be connected to one expansion loop.
3. Disk domains and storage pools are divided by controller enclosure. Disk domains cannot be created across controller enclosures. 4. In converged storage, it is recommended that the number of disks of each type in a disk domain do not exceed 100. Each tier, including the high performance tier, and capacity tier, uses the same types of disks. Thick LUNs are recommended, and a default number of file systems or LUNs are created and evenly distributed to each controller.
Let's use the networking assistant to view the recommended backend networking of the storage products. First, select the product series and mode. Such as OceanStor Dorado 8000 V6. Networking scenario, such as single controller backend networking. And then disk enclosure type, such as smart disk enclosure. After selecting the parameters, we can see the recommended networking diagrams.
For example, you can click the backend networking of 1 controller enclosure plus 3 disk enclosure, and click the icon to zoom in. Here we can see that backend slots 5, 6, and 7 are used in the recommended networking. 3 disk enclosures have 3 loops, and each loop has only 1 disk enclosure.
We do not advise cascading multiple disk enclosures in one loop to avoid possible performance bottleneck at the storage backend. For details about configuration rules for backend interface module, see the product documentation.
In the delivery implementation solution design, We can use LLDesigner to customize LLD projects or create them from templates and facilitate quick storage networking design and storage resource planning. Let's use the active-active template to create an LLD. Click More to view active-active networking of different product models. Select Dorado 8000, enter the project name and click OK.
There are three sets in the networking diagram. Set 1 and set 2 are active storage system, and set 3 is deployed with a current server. We can click a storage device icon to modify its name, model, and the controller enclosure, and right-click the interface module area to configure them. For example, a 10G Ethernet module for slot 0 and a 16 gigabit FC module for slot 1.
We can also configure the number of disk enclosures and disks and view the recommended back-end networking. For example, set the number of disk enclosures to 3 and 36 3.84 TB disks for each enclosure and click Configuration. 3 loops are recommended for the back-end networking. We can click Rear View of Storage Device to see that 3 loops are displayed in the detailed diagram.
The front-end storage network and the active-active replication network are the simplest networks, as shown in the networking diagram figure. 4 storage ports are connected to the host through 2 switches. Each host has 2 initiators, and there are 8 or 16 paths when 1 or 2 controller enclosures are connected, respectively. Active-active replication links use point-to-point roaming, and 4 fiber channel links exist.
We can click the small circle above the storage device to add a link, for example, between the host and storage device. Add a link from host 1 to switch 1, click OK, and add a link from host 1 to switch 3 and click OK.
After completing the hardware configuration, we can also allocate resources, plan mapping view, and configure hypermetro. Then you can click Export LLD and see the configuration list, network topology, front-end device connection, rear view of the storage device, IP address planning, FC port planning, ROM planning, capacity planning, and so on. We can continuously optimize and modify the LLD and output the final LLD delivery solution. To set the host connectivity configuration, we can refer to the host connectivity guide and Huawei UltraPa guide.
After checking that system compatibility requirements are met, configure the OS's native multipathing software or UltraPath by referring to the relevant host connectivity guide or UltraPath guide respectively. Specific configuration parameters are not recommended for sites unless they're required in special circumstances or for solving specific problems. Otherwise, O&M and later upgrades will be affected.
For the host connectivity guide, note the following. 1. Ensure that the system capability requirements are met. 2. Obtain the latest connectivity guide according to the product model from the support website. Number 3. Note that the corresponding host connectivity guide is used for OceanStor V3, V5, and OceanStor Dorado V6. The configuration parameters are different according to the storage series.
For the UltraPath guide, note the following. 1. Ensure that the system compatibility requirements are met. 2. Pay attention to the kernel inconsistency scenario. UltraPa is developed in compliance with the default kernel version. 3. UltraPa 21.6.2 or later is required for OceanStor Dorado v6.
The last thing we will discuss today is project acceptance, optimal configuration, and function and performance tests.
We can check whether the delivery configuration complies with the standards by referring to the optimal configuration after the initial storage configuration during project delivery. Now, let's learn about the optimal SAN configuration using OceanStor Dorado as an example.
For front-end and internal networking, number 1, each host has at least one link to each controller, or each quadrant using standard dual-switch networking. Number 2, front-end service links and replication links between storage systems use different FedEx ports.
For disk enclosure expansion, the maximum expansion depth is 2 levels in a loop. Expansion methods are as follows. 1. All disk enclosures are connected in the forward direction of the expansion loops. 2. Disk enclosures use single uplink networking.
For the software version, we should upgrade this storage system software to the version recommended by the support website.
Multipathing software includes the software selection, UltraPa version, and OS native multipathing software. For host operating systems that are compatible with UltraPa, UltraPa is strongly recommended. Use UltraPa 21.6.2 or later for OceanStor Dorado v6. Upgrade UltraPa to the version recommended by support.huawei.com/e.
In terms of the storage pool, we consider the number of disks, read policy, and the number of hot spare disks.
For a storage system with one controller enclosure, there should be at least 8 normal SSDs. For a storage system with multiple controller enclosures, there are at least 8 times the number of controller enclosures. RAID 6 or RAID TP should be used. If a faulty disk cannot be replaced within 30 days, it is advised to configure at least 2 or more hot spare disks.
For space reservation, if hyperclone, synchronous hyperreplication, hypermetro, and smart migration are used, the storage pool to which a LAN belongs reserves 1% of the LAN capacity. If hypersleep or asynchronous hyperreplication is used, the storage pool to which a LAN belongs should reserve 30% of the LAN capacity. In smart deduplication and smart compression, when creating a LAN, select a proper service type based on the committed data reduction ratio and the I/O model of the LAN.
In hypermetro, we consider the networking, model inversion, mapping, and hypermetro working mode. Both storage systems must have the same front-end networking modes, for example, fiber channel. Both storage systems must be of the same model and have the same software or patch version.
Hypermetro LANs from both storage systems are mapped to the same host. If a host runs VMware, the two LANs that from different storage systems in a hypermetro pair must use the same host LAN ID when being mapped to the host.
If the distance between two sites is less than 10 kilometers, the load balancing mode is recommended. If the distance between two sites exceeds 10 kilometers, the local preferred mode is recommended.
As for site deployment inspection, after the storage system's initial configuration is completed, use SmartKit to conduct a site deployment inspection. Ensure that it passes the inspection. In the hypermetro scenario, both the host and the storage systems are added to the market for inspection.
There are also delivery quality standards for reference during the delivery process, ensuring standardized storage, product delivery, and storage delivery quality. Take OceanStor Dorado as an example. We can check the following storage configurations by referring to these quality standards.
Power supply and the environment of the equipment room, third-party cabinet, and the environment for the delivery of integrated cabinets. Number 2, storage hardware delivery quality, such as device installation, cable, networking, configuration specifications.
3. Storage software delivery quality, such as SAN planning and configuration, NAS planning and configuration, and multipathing software installation and configuration. 4. Hypermetro configurations, such as networking configuration specifications and hypermetro planning and configuration. 5. Hyperreplication configurations, such as network configuration specifications and replication configurations.
The Huawei storage delivery acceptance test includes function and performance acceptance.
For function acceptance, we can use the acceptance test guide of the desired storage product. Here we're using OceanStor Dorado 6.1.2 as an example. You can refer to the specific test process of each test item for the storage system, including basic and advanced SAN and NAS services such as HyperSnap, hyperreplication, and hypermetro. In addition, we have device redundancy protection acceptance test cases for tests on controller faults, front-end cable faults, and disk faults.
For performance acceptance, the performance test solution of the desired storage service is designed for testing SAN and NAS performance. During the test, if the target bandwidth exceeds the front-end port bandwidth limit, we should add front-end links or servers based on the set requirements. And if the server CPU usage reaches 100% during the test, add more servers.
We recommend a third-party performance test tool such as Oracle VD Bench to test storage performance. The test document describes how to use VD Bench and provides test cases. We can adjust VD Bench script parameters according to the actual test service model. Common VD Bench parameters are listed in section 5.3.
After the storage system's initial configuration is completed, use SmartKit to conduct a site deployment inspection. Ensure that it passes the inspection. In the hypermetro scenario, both the involved host and the storage system are added to the SmartKit for inspection. If any risk is found, locate the root cause and resolve the problem as recommended.
Archive the site inspection report and logs on the eService website. First, log into eService. Click Device Management under Continuous Operations. The Device Management page is displayed. On the Storage tab page, enter the site SN in the ESN text box and click Search. Obtain the device archive information and check whether the site name is correct. Click the searched ESN. The site archive page of the device is displayed.
On the Maintenance Service tab page, click File Upload to upload the device storage logs, performance logs, and inspection report. Before configuring storage, familiarize yourself with related guides and feature configuration procedures. Output the implementation solution and LLD and continuous optimize the delivery implementation solution during the communication with the customer.
Common documents and tools include the BC and DR solution documentation, and common documents and tools including Networking Assistant, Interoperability Navigator, Document Customization, and Warranty Inquiry.
We can analyze storage performance and logs on each service. Choose Maintenance Service, Storage, Performance Analysis, and upload the collected performance logs for automatic analysis. After the analysis is complete, we can see the performance indicators of the controllers, disks, hosts, and links such as the bandwidth, IOPS, latency, and I/O size. And also you can go to maintenance service, storage, fault diagnose, and upload the collected storage logs for analysis to locate the root cause of faults and provide troubleshooting measures.
Visit the website displayed on the screen to learn about enterprise storage related plugins and software versions, and obtain documents such as the user guide, communication matrix, upgrade guide, and interface reference.
To stay up to date with the latest information, please scan the QR code to subscribe to our newsletters. Remember to select Enterprise Data Center from the drop-down menu. Here you will find all our latest information.
That's all for today's presentation. We hope you found it useful. Now we've reached our final quiz session. Remember, the first person to give the correct answer will win a prize.
Okay, let's start. True or false? Only Oracle Workbench can be used to conduct performance acceptance tests. The first one who gives the answer in the chat box will win a prize. So, Lauren, how do you think?
It's a difficult one, but yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest. How about you?
Hello, Oracle Workbench is a wonderful tool to perform the tests, but there are some other tools such as File IO, IO room, and so on. So I think this answer is false.
Okay, well, shall we see what the answer is and show the audience?
Okay.
The answer is false.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's move on to the next question. True or false? The recommended networking between hosts and OceanStor Dorado is as follows. Each host has at least one link to each controller for entry-level and mid-range storage, or each quadrant of high-end storage. Remember, the first person to answer correctly will win the prize, so be quick. So what do you think about this question?
I think it's correct. We talk about this in the optimal configuration. So I think the answer is true.
Okay, great. Shall we see what the audience...
Okay.
Okay, the answer is true.
Okay, the next one. Single answer question. Are you ready? Which of the following is the networking mode of OceanStor Dorado disk enclosures? A. Single uplink networking. B. Dual uplink networking. Which one do you think is correct? The first one who gives the answer in the chat box will win a prize. So, Lauren, how do you think? Do you have any idea?
I would say it's A.
Okay, let's see the answer. Oh, it's A. Yeah. You're right.
Okay, now moving on to the next question. Again, this is a single answer question. So, what are the requirements for host LUN IDs of the two LUNs from different storage systems in a hypermetro pair when being mapped to a VMware host? Is it A, the host LUN IDs must be the same, or B, the host LUN IDs can be randomly allocated by the system? Okay, should we see the answer?
Okay.
The answer is A. Host LAN IDs must be the same.
Okay, next one. Single answer question. If the distance between two active DCs exceeds 10 kilometers, which of the following hypermetro working modes is recommended? A. Load balancing. B. Local preferred. Well, we also talk about this in optimal configuration. So, do you remember which one we should choose? Okay, let's see the answer. It's B. Local preferred.
Okay, that's all for today. If you were the first person to answer the question correctly, remember to send an email to info@huawei.com to collect your prize. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.
Oh, the live streaming ends at this moment.
After this live streaming, I think I've mastered all the information.
Oh, really? How about a quick quiz?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Have you scanned the QR code to subscribe to the storage newsletters?
Is this the question? Of course, I'm a big OceanStor fan. See, enjoy it.
Which platform is dedicated to Huawei storage products, documents, and tools?
I'm sure that Huawei Data Storage Info Center, an amazing platform.
How can I get all the documents using my mobile phone?
I know application I can get all, anytime, anywhere.
If I want to know the power consumption of the storage system, which tool can I use?
Of course, power consumption calculation.
Where can I find the training courses for OceanStor storage?
Huawei Data Storage Academy.
Wow, very good. Now, for the last question, have you followed the LinkedIn and YouTube accounts for Huawei storage?
Huawei IT products and the solutions at LinkedIn and YouTube, of course.
Wow, you are the best. All the information is clear.
Thanks to OceanStor Talks.
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 Thanks to OceanStor Talks.